Hi, good day all of you. Welcome to our session, welcome to our channel, Intelligible Tutorials. In this particular class, I am going to give the clear insight of the information retrieval systems in the unit number 2. So, in the previous videos, I completed the unit 1 like search capabilities, miscellaneous capabilities, browse capabilities and various standards, servers are there in the information retrieval systems. But in this particular class, in this particular video, I am going to give the clear information regarding the contents of the unit 2. For this, I have posted the syllabus also in the form of the video, which covers entire subject information retrieval systems. It is divided into 5 different units, and each and every unit can have important topics what I am going to discuss. All these things I have posted in the form of the video. Please watch the video for further information. Here I am going to give the clear information regarding the contents from the unit 2. First, we are going to describe about the data structures. Information retrieval systems uses two different data structures. These data structures are used to provide the efficient way of the searching. So the user can easily search the item whatever he wants, and these data structures facilitates us to provide the search and to map the data items whatever they are in this particular document, and easily they can provide. The search will become very easy by using these data structures. Okay, so normally we are having two major data structures. One is the document manager, another one is the, see here in this diagram it is showing item normalization, after that document file creation, and then we are having document manager, document search manager. This document manager and document search manager are the two different data structures which facilitate us to make easier of the search. The document manager is used to work with the original document file, and document search manager is used for processing the tokens. Okay, so how they will work, that we will see. Okay, so processing tokens, how the processing of the tokens can be performed and all these things. Okay, so one more aim of these data structures is used to minimize the secondary storage access, and when multiple search items are applied across the total database. So the storage access can be minimized. Within the given document space, only the item whatever the user wants that can be easily retrieved. So that is the main aim of these two data structures. Okay, so for that these two can be used. And there are normally 6 different kinds of the data structures: stemming algorithms, inverted file structures, n-gram data structures, paired data structures, signature data structures, and hypertext data structures. Before going to discuss these two, we will discuss what this information will be given. In the document manager, normally this document manager data structure is responsible for original document file, whereas document search manager is responsible for whatever item the user is intended for search. It processes those search. That means it makes a mapping between the searching item and as well as the searchable item. So basing on that mapping, it retrieves the items. So user wants to search for a word computer, how many times that particular word computer is existing in the document. Whenever we perform search in the Microsoft Word Control F, the particular word you will enter into the search box, that will be mapped into the logically, that will be mapped into the how many number of occurrences it is existing. Those number of the mappings it will run the logical mappings. For that all the logical mappings, this document search manager is responsible. Okay, so it is the original file document. It is used to identify the text where it is. The user intended to search for what kind of the item where it is existing. So like that, these two plays a vital role in the searching. And next one, we are going to discuss about various data structures. Very important one here is the stemming algorithms. The next one is inverted file structures, and n-gram data structures, paired data structures, signature data structures, and finally hypertext data structures. Okay, one by one we are going to discuss now. The very first one we are going to see here is the stemming algorithms. What is the meaning of the stemming? Actually, the meaning of the stemming is nothing but cutting and trimming. Okay, so the unnecessary things will be stemmed, or the unnecessary things will be trimmed. That is the meaning of the stemming. Actually, this concept is introduced in 1960 And what is the use of this stemming, and what is the main motivation of this stemming is nothing but it improves the search performance of the search by reducing the system resources. Within the limited number of the resources, it should provide the efficient search. That is the main motivation of the stemming algorithms. Okay, and the number of the unique words that a system has to contain. There is no stemming also mainly focusing on the no repetition of the words. It always maintains the unique words. So as maximum as number of the words are possible for search within a given less number of the resources, within a less number of the document space. That is the main motivation of the stemming algorithms. And stemming algorithms are used to improve the efficiency, and there are two different measurements already we have discussed in the searching procedure. One is the precision, another one is the recall. So what is the meaning of the precision is nothing but searching for top relevant items. What is the meaning of the recall is nothing but searching for least relevant items, or sometimes non-relevant items also, and very least relevant items also. So this stemming algorithms is used to improve the recall. Okay, it is intended to reduce the precision, and it is intended to increase the recall. Okay, so provide the search information, that means it gathers the non-relevant items also. It's not focusing on the top relevant items, it gathers the least relevant items also, and sometimes non-relevant items also. That is the importance of this stemming algorithm. And this is used to reduce the precision, increase the recall, and one way is reduce the diversity. Whenever you are intended to use the precision, that is always used to represent the top relevant items. Okay, so this also considers the least relevant items but not the top relevant items, sometimes non-relevant items also, as maximum as reach it to the 100. Okay, so it reduces the diversity, and diversity means different number of the words, different kinds of the words it reduces. It always increases the similar kind of the terms. Okay, it always uses it to identify the similar terms only, but not the irrelevant terms as most not relevant terms. Somewhat relevant items will be there, that it will be gathers. And one more important thing we have to remember regarding the stemming is increase the search efficiency. And one more important thing we have to remember here, one more thing is nothing but conflation. What is the meaning of the conflation? Just now in the previous few minutes I told, conflation means whenever you are going to search for an item, that particular item will be mapped to wherever it is existing in that document. This logical mapping is called as the conflation. Conflation is nothing but logical mapping between the searching item and as well as the searchable item. The item what you are going to search and the item where it is appearing. So the mapping should be there between these two items. This feature is called the conflation. And this stemming algorithms are designed in a way to increase the search efficiency. Okay. So what are the various variations of the stemming algorithm? Now we are going to see. The first one is table lookup stemming, and the second one is post stemming, third one is dictionary stemming, and fourth one is successor stemming. One by one, that we will see. The very first one is table lookup stemming. How it will work now, see. Okay, table lookup stemming is one kind of the stemming which is using the large number of the data structures. The best example of the table lookup stemming is Retrievalware server. Retrievalware server is one of the server which is designed for accessing the information from the information retrieval systems. And the best example of the case stemming is nothing. Case stemming here it is, and the best example of this database is nothing but inquiry. Inquiry is one of the database server which is developed to retrieve the items from the information retrieval system servers. Okay, it combines the rules and as well as the dictionary words, and it is highly iterative in nature and removes large prefixes and large suffixes. Table lookup stemming is using these many things. Implements large data structures. If example is the Retrievalware. Case stemming is the example. Inquiry database is also one of the example for that. It combines the rules and as well as the dictionary words, and highly iterative and remove large prefixes and suffixes. Because I told stemming itself is nothing but trimming and cutting. Okay, what it cuts, what it trims is nothing but some of the unnecessary things, whatever will be there, prefixes, suffixes, those it will be clear. Okay, so it removes large prefixes and as well as large suffixes. Okay, next table lookup, we are having the Foster stemming algorithm. So what this Foster stemming algorithm will look like? Okay, Foster stemming algorithm will always works on the alphabets. Normally we are having 26 alphabets in the English language, and some of them are consonants, some of them are vowels. So it divides the entire letters in the form of consonants and vowels. The vowels here we are having A, E, I, O, U, Y. In this, Y is also considered as the vowel, but actually it's a semi-vowel. Here it is also considered as the vowel itself. Okay, so it divides the entire alphabets in the form of vowels and as well as the consonants. So 6 number of the vowels, 20 number of the consonants. Based on this formula, it identifies. Okay, so what is the C consonants? What is the V vowels consonants? Where measure M is nothing but M is defined as the measure M of a stem is a function. The sequence occurrences, how many times this V and C frequently occurred, this combination frequently occurs, that can be measured with the help of the M and followed by V. Based on this particular formula, the Foster stemming algorithm will work. Okay, this is the condition, it will work. Okay, Foster stemming algorithm is based upon the set of conditions of the stem, suffix and prefix associated actions given the condition. Based on this condition only it can identify the words. Consonants, vowel consonants, how many times it appears, the measure based on this, and followed by again vowel based on this. So remember, Foster stemming algorithm always works on the alphabets in the form of vowels and consonants, and based on this formula, how many occurrences are there, based on this it will work. One more thing we need to remember in the Foster stemming algorithm is nothing but star X, stem ends with a letter. This indicates that the stem is the ending, it indicates with a letter. Star B star, stem contains a vowel. Star D, stem ends with double consonant. Here star is nothing but a wildcard character. In the previous videos I have given the clear introduction of the wildcard characters like star, question mark and dollar, how they can be used. Star is used for multiple character representation. Okay, stem contains vowel, that means here it is nothing but some word in between, it is having the V, the word having. So then the stem contains the vowel. Star D ends with double consonant. Okay, so it ends with the double consonants like that. For example, stemming is a word, it ends with double consonant. N, G, these two are two different consonants, it ends with double consonants. Okay, for example, we are taking a word name called Ravi. So here in between the word, V is a word, character is there, V is a character. So the stem contains the vowel R, A, V, I, like that. So like that we are having various number of the examples in the Foster stemming algorithm. So in the coming session we see some more stemming algorithms, how they will work. So to watch continuously my videos, please subscribe the channel. Thank you all of you. Thank you, Anita.